This is just in case. Hello, this is Anya Divine again. Just in case I do anything significant. I'm just using my finger now with the green paint as a way of doing something a little bit more clear in this. There's 3 other steps that you can see on YouTube. And the last one was on Instagram as well, I think. And this is just to kind of show you the last few steps. Well, look, I'm not going to tell you what it's to show you because you never know. I might carry on for another half an hour. But I did want to, because I had to finish the last one in a hurry. I wasn't able to show you what happened close up. And so I left the picture off at the end of this video and you'll be able to see the carry on. So that's the inside of the cup. And these are leaves. And I want the leaves to read as a bit more different from the colour of the inside of the cup. So I'll add some Hooker's green onto the leaves there. And what else now? You know, I feel like I want to put something, I want to use the stencil actually. Why do I want to do that? Because, okay. So I could use the stencil. There's a few stencils. I'll use this one to help me to describe the leaves somehow. To help to describe the jumble of leaves, I think. There's something here that's a bit kind of nondescript. I think it's okay though. I guess it's okay for sometimes things to be totally, you know, nondescript, I suppose. And for them to be totally unplanned and no words to describe why you're doing something, but just to go ahead and do it anyway. That's one of the things. That's a learning for me from working with art materials. That there doesn't always have to be a logical reason for doing something. You can just do it because you want to, even if it's ugly. Isn't that great? You can just do it because you want to, even if it's ugly. Who cares? You know, it's your own. You have agency on this universal stage. This is your orchestra to conduct. Or in this case, mine. So I can just play with pink if I want to. And like Alex Mitchell says, my friend who's the artist, look her up if you don't know her. Alex Mitchell says, be your own rainbow. So, and Oscar Wilde said, I think if you don't make works of art, be a work of art. So in the morning, decide your colours according to how you know, just paint yourself like. So I think that's what Alex means by paint your own rainbow. Be your own rainbow. You know, to bring colour into your wardrobe. Why not? It's inspiring, isn't it? And then some days I don't get out of my pyjamas, like. But I suppose on those days I do end up wanting to make colour happen somewhere in my life. Oh jeekers, it's on the kitchen floor now with that, in the shape of that blue chalk that's just detonated all over the floor. It's worth it though, I love this blue. There's a lovely combination of blues. Actually it's not completely burst either, it's fine, I'll live to fight another day. There's lovely combinations of blues in those Sennelier oil pastels. No soft pastels, I mean. They're not even Sennelier, oh they're there. They're there. Now, what was I going to do now? I think I'll carry on. Clarifying the edge of the cup. Just clarifying the edge. with a straight edge there. Okay, and I think there seems to be some kind of a drive in me, or a desire in me, to just go to the edge of explaining something and stop. And that's fighting against the other relentless pursuit of perfection kind of thing that comes in. And I feel like it might be a combination of, taming down and being untethered. The two things. And I suppose they both need to exist, actually. There needs to be a certain degree of discipline and a certain degree of surrender, as Rumi would say. And then I suppose it's just in discerning, the discernment of where discipline comes in and surrender. And like if there's too much of one, like I was talking about poetry the other day, and about how I remember John O'Donoghue speaking about poetry, and he said some poetry, I think because it was kind of too attentive to the form of things and too carefully prescribed, and he said the state coroner couldn't find a pulse in it. And then there's the other kind of poetry that was so loose and like just there was nothing to hang it on, and that too kind of got lost. So it feels like there's some sort of thing there, some biting point between the two. And it's a bit like my days. Like yesterday was one of those, nothing is working out. And I suppose days can be like that too. And I just did my best to tend to myself in that. Yeah, to try and be kind. Because we need to do that for ourselves in the end, really, don't we? Okay. And we're better placed than to be able to do it for other folk. And like there's this, sometimes it's very hard to reach out if you're having a bad day, and sometimes it's good to not do that. And I think other times it's helpful to just, actually Lily came home from school early yesterday unexpectedly, and she gave me a big fright when I came in from my walk. She was like boo from behind the door, and I had no idea that she'd be at home. And actually just the interaction with her took me out of my slump. So I think even going to the post office, posting a letter, stuff like that, where you're interacting and remembering how significant your interaction can be. Like that man at the petrol pump, you need to watch the other videos to kind of have any sense made of this. But the guy at the petrol pump smiling at me made my day. Made a difference to my day when it was a rough one. And I think we underestimate the power that we have, really, to lift others up and be lifted up by others. So even taking a walk out of the house on a day when you feel pretty poorly allows there to be something new can come in the form of a stranger's smile even. It's a possibility. But sure, it's our own minds, isn't it? It's hard enough to escape that sometimes. To find, or to take no notice of it. Like Tara Brock says, do not believe your thoughts. Don't believe your thoughts. That's a good one, I think. No. Yeah, because you'd end up like, sometimes you see people speaking to themselves on the street. You'd see me speaking to myself in the woods if you were following me around. But luckily no one sees me, I don't think. So I get away with it. But how you see people and you consider them to be a bit deranged or something if they're talking loudly to themselves. But all they're doing is saying out loud what the rest of us probably have inside in our heads. Like quite animatedly cross with themselves or something. Now, what about the... Yeah, or something like that. I'm getting a little bit confused as to what I was going to do. I was going to maybe do a stencil, but well, I suppose I could. Do you know what? I think I'll bring in white, maybe some white paint there to create a bit of a stencil shape, just to see what it would look like. I think it might be. Well, I just want to know what it would look like. I was going to say I think it might be an exciting addition, but I don't really. I just want to know what it will look like if I do that. if I put some white acrylic over that space there. And I think the thing about that is, that reminds me that one of the components of creativity that keeps me at it is the being curious and the joy of that place. Like, it's a really nice thing to be curious. I feel self-conscious today because I feel I'm all puffed up. I've been eating a lot of chocolate and stuff, you know. So when I look at the video, that's all I can see is puffy eyes and everything. Well, not all I can see. Anyway, stop that now, Anya. What was I going to say to you? Oh, the thing about being curious. It's a very important quality, I think, in creativity, is to maintain a sense of curiosity. Wanting to know more than wanting to see what it'll look like. There's something about wanting to play. Something about that. Wanting the spirit of playfulness. And not only that, but like, what'll happen next? It's a bit like, I think that's the spirit that children do bring to play. You know, when they start, it's a whole improvised thing, isn't it? I kind of like that. I know it's a bit extreme, but I think it's quite nice. In fact, I might bring the same pattern into the background, but I want to make it a different colour slightly. Nothing too dominant, but if I had the Payne's grey now, that might be the one I would use there. Or turquoise, actually. What'll I do? I know what I'll do. I'm going to put white paint. I think this is what I want to do now, is put white paint fairly wet on there. And you won't be even able to really see it, I'd say. And then what I thought I might do is put on some alcohol ink on top of it, because that gives quite a nice effect when it's combined. I'm still really learning how to use the alcohol ink, but it seems to me that it, although actually it's kind of subtle that as it is there, and I don't know if I want to leave it. Maybe I'll put the alcohol ink instead onto this, but I feel like I need to put it down in the chair, and then I'll turn the camera down too so you can still see it. And that might be my final move then. Can you see what's going on there now? Try and get it so that it's fully in the screen. Almost. Alright, so I thought I might put some alcohol ink on this area. But first I want to put some water on there, because I think it's the water that makes it exciting, as far as I remember. Still, as I say, I'm still kind of learning what to do with this stuff. So that's Caribbean blue. It's just an exciting thing to use, isn't it? Just an exciting thing to use. And it does have some sort of reaction with the... It has a reaction with the water. I don't know if it's better to put water on after or before, but anyway, I've done it before. And then there's this, which is more of an opaque alcohol ink. And it might be quite a nice way to describe the edge of the jug, maybe. Okay. Let me just do a bit of a splash. Like that. And I think that's where I might leave it. Although, true to form, a bit trigger happy now that the ink has been cracked open. And I'm considering using this pink alcohol ink on the cup. And the saucer maybe too. And then if the golden high flow acrylic works, I might use a touch of that. I don't think it's working. I think I've maybe... Oh god, oh here it comes. I thought it was going to splash out there suddenly. Just a little bit of a brightness. And sure, why don't I put some into the roses as I'm at it. Okay, I'd say now I'm going to leave, I was going to leave well enough alone until I found the gold. This is gold alcohol ink, and there is actually, I've got a license to use it because there is actually a gold rim on that cup, and there is a gold handle on this cup. So if you're accusing me now of getting trigger happy with the bling and everything, there's a reason for it. And maybe the yellow roses, there's no stopping her now, maybe the yellow roses could do with a touch of gold as well, why not? You know, that sun this morning felt very golden to me. Now if I was to put this in a picture, if I was to put this in one of the Facebook sales, I think what I would do is I would put it onto white paper and stick it down. I'm going to say goodbye to you now anyway, because oh yeah, there's the gold and the yellow flowers. I'll say goodbye to you now because I want to see if I can, I'm too late for Instagram. I was going to say I could have maybe put it on Instagram because it might have been 15 minutes in length, but it's over that. So that's what happened. I think when the gold dries it might be clearer. I might actually put another, I think I didn't shake it well enough to really shake the gold, because I mean if I'm going for gold I might as well really go for gold. Look, I'll put you down there again so you can see what I'm doing. Final move now, stop me if I go any further than this. So hopefully it's going to be a bit more gold. I think if I leave it sitting there and not hold it up the way as well, that it'll have an opportunity to stay more in position. I did cheat there a little bit now because there isn't gold on that handle, but there is gold on the rim of this one too. Okay, I think I've made the cups more gold than pink now, so let me just reintroduce the old alcohol ink pink and high flow acrylic pink again, in case the gold was becoming too dominant there. This is a bit like a chef, you know. I'll just put a touch more salt and pepper in. Alright, that's the end of it now. That was a bit of fun, and that's my bit of presents for the day, at least if I'm never again. You can see Michael T. Higgins there behind me. And I'll sign off quickly now because there's a lot more than Michael T. Higgins, I'm afraid, in this kitchen to see. It's quite a lot to tidy up, but we'll get there eventually, and it doesn't have to be completely tidy for Christmas. Nothing has to be completely tidy, for God's sake. Okay, alright, have a lovely day, all the best, bye.